Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Monday, December 6th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in this video, I'll be talking about a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate, and then going over my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings as well for tonight's slate. But without further ado, we'll get into yesterday's picks, see how they turned out. So at the point guard position, we had Ish Smith on the DraftKings side, $4,800, looking for 24 points on him. He got to 37.25, so he was a hit. He ended up playing 32 minutes in this game, essentially the only point guard they did have on the team overall, so he was always going to be on the court more often than not. Then at shooting guard, we had Armani Brooks, $3,700, looking for about 19 points on him. He got to 10. He was a miss. He ended up playing 22 minutes, 1 for 7 shooting, just not a very good day for him overall. At one point, he was in the starting lineup, then he wasn't. So if he was in that starting lineup, would have been that extra bonus, but just not a good day for him overall, especially in terms of shooting. Then at small forward, we had Kelly Oubre, $6,100, looking for 31 points out of him. He got to 39.75, so he was a hit. Not too much you can say there. You know, most of these Hornets players were pretty good values. There's a couple that weren't, but otherwise, most of them were. And then at power forward, we had P.J. Washington, $5,700, looking for about 29 points out of him. He got to 34.75, so he was a good hit as well. And then I did have Nick Richards originally. He ended up starting, but $3,000. I thought maybe play 18, 20 minutes in this game just because they were shorthanded. That did not end up happening. He only played 7 minutes, so he got to 7.75 points. He was a fantasy point per minute producer, but he just didn't get enough minutes to really matter in this one. I said you could also go with Gordon Hayward since Richards and Washington were probably going to split the center minutes in general. If you went with Gordon Hayward, he was $7,000. You were looking for 35 points out of him. He got 28.75. He is a mess, 5 for 15 shooting from the field. Just not a good day overall for him. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Ish Smith once again, $5,000, looking for 25 points out of him. Got to 36.5, so he was a hit. Eric Gordon at the shooting guard position, $5,200, looking for 26 points out of him. He got to 28.5, so he was a hit. Gordon Hayward, who we did talk a little bit about on the DraftKings side, $7,600, looking for 38 points out of him. Got to 27.5. He was a miss. Had that kind of 5 for 15 shooting day. Just didn't really take over in the way you would expect without everybody else out there on the court. And then Christian Wood at power forward, $8,700, looking for 44 points on him. He got to 39.6. He's a miss. Probably not somebody that killed you overall in the grand scheme of things yesterday, but just wasn't quite as good as he could have been. And then last but not least, we have P.J. Washington. That's supposed to be $6,000, looking for 30 points on him. He got to 33.7, so he was a hit as well. So a little bit of a hit or miss day. If you nailed the right Charlotte values, you did pretty well yesterday. If you nailed John Collins, some of the other values that were on yesterday's slate, there really wasn't a ton of them. You probably made out pretty well overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved into the injuries for tonight's slate. So I believe this is a 10-game slate overall. We'll start off with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are just missing Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So looking at pretty much what we've been looking at for the last couple times out. They do get Josh Giddey back tonight, so that'll kind of mix things up, see what that starting lineup looks like overall. For the Detroit Pistons, they were without Kelly Olynyk and Hamidou Diallo, and then Corey Joseph, game time decision, but expected to play. For the Washington Wizards, just without Thomas Bryant, Rui Hachimura once again, so no changes there. The Pacers are without Justin Holiday, TJ McConnell, and TJ Warren once again, so that's the exact same as the last time out when they played, minus, that Domantas Sabonis just kind of disappearing right before the game, but hopefully that doesn't happen once again tonight. For the 76ers, Ben Simmons and Grant Ridley are both still out, and then Tobias Harris is questionable. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. For the Charlotte Hornets, the exact same thing we saw yesterday. LaMelo Ball, Jalen McDaniels, Mason Plumlee, and Terry Rozier all out. All are in the COVID protocol, so pretty similar rotation to what we saw yesterday. Just keep in mind, P.J. Washington didn't start that game. Not sure if he'll start this game, but going against Joel Embiid, not the most favorable matchup for him overall. He'll still be out there enough to matter, but it could be a rough little game for him, at least defensively. Then we move down to the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant, Sam Merrill, and Kyle Anderson all already ruled out. Brandon Clark doubtful to play, and then Zaire Williams, who's missed the last couple of games, is questionable as well. So pretty similar rotation, pretty similar lineup to what we've been seeing the last couple of times out. For the Miami Heat, Victor Oladipo, Markieff Morris, and Bam Adebayo are all still out. Jimmy Butler is questionable to play. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. Then we move down to the Denver Nuggets, who are without Austin Rivers, Jamal Murray, Bones Highland, and Bol Bol once again. They most notably just signed, I believe it was like Devon Reed to a hardship exemption deal because they have so many guys out in the COVID protocol, so many guys that are injured out for the year, stuff like that as well. Then for the Chicago Bulls, Patrick Williams, Kobe White, Javonte Green are already ruled out, and then Alex Caruso is doubtful to play, so we could see Derrick Jones in that starting lineup tonight. Then for the Cavaliers, just Dean Wade listed as a game time decision. He looks like he has a chance to play tonight, so they're almost back to full strength at this point in time. Milwaukee Bucks are without Semi Ojeleye, Brook Lopez, Dante DiVincenzo, and then George Hill, Giannis, and Grayson Allen are all listed as questionable to play. We'll just have to keep an eye out on those three throughout the day. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter and Bogdanovich are both out once again. Cam Reddish is questionable to play. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. Solomon Hill most notably left the game yesterday after about 4 minutes with a hamstring issue. He's listed as a game time decision, expected to play, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure if I quite believe that one at this point in time. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, we got Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Noel, Patrick Beverly, all listed as questionable, and then Jaden McDaniels looking like he should play. He's been dealing with that illness. So Karl Anthony Towns supposedly practiced yesterday. He's been dealing with that tailbone issue. We'll see if he plays or not. If he doesn't play, then obviously we're looking at Naz Reid looking like a pretty good value play once again. D'Angelo Russell dealing with an ankle issue. If he doesn't play, we're going to open up some value there as well. Patrick Beverly been dealing, I believe it was with an abductor, and I don't think he's back tonight, honestly. I think there's still probably at least one more game that he's going to miss. Jalen Noel and Jaden McDaniels were both illness-related, so I do assume that they're both back tonight. Then we move down to the San Antonio Spurs. Zach Collins is out once again. Devin Vassell and Keita Bates-Diop are both listed as questionable. Both missed the last time out. The Suns are exactly the same as the last 2 times out, so we got Devin Booker, Frank Kaminsky, Abdul Nader, and Dario Saric all out once again. Then for the Orlando Magic, pretty much the same 5 guys out that have been out for a while now. So Michael Carter-Williams, Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, E'Twaun Moore, and Jalen Suggs. For the Golden State Warriors, they're without Wiseman, Thompson, and Andre Iguodala, so no changes there either. Then for the Clippers, they are without Preston and Leonard once again. Nick Batum is questionable play. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. For the Portland Trailblazers, most notably without Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons. So Dennis Smith Jr. probably in that starting lineup once again. Nas Little is questionable to play. And then CJ McCollum listed as a game time decision but expected to play. So that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. There's going to be quite a few that we're looking at for during the day. I'll be leaving injury updates in the comments down below throughout the day, as well as starting lineups. So definitely be sure you're checking up, following up throughout the day, especially as we get closer to lock, just so you get as much news as possible regarding that. But with that being said, we'll move over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at point guard position, Ish Smith. They priced him down to $3,400, which is just kind of ridiculous because he was a lot more than that yesterday. So looking for 17 points out of him. Obviously, we saw him play 32 minutes last night. I assume that's the same once again tonight, unless they get like blown out of the building or something, which I don't really expect with the Philadelphia 76ers at this point in time. And with that being said, I currently have Ish Smith projected for about 28 points tonight. Then we're going to go over to Kelly Oubre, $5,800, looking for 29 points out of him. I got him projected for 33 tonight. Obviously, we saw him get almost 40 last night, so he's going to be out there a ton. He's going to be playing big minutes as long as the game stays competitive, so there's no reason not to play him at this point in time. Then we move down to small forward. We're going to go with Derrick Jones Jr., $3,600, looking for 18 points out of him. Currently have him projected for about 20 points tonight. Definitely could have a little bit more as well. Should be seeing more minutes without Alex Caruso in the lineup, some of those other guys. And he should be in that starting lineup too as well. Even if he comes off the bench, he should be playing enough minutes to really matter in this one overall. Then at power forward, we're going right back to Evan Mobley. We caught the one down game with him the last time I did recommend him, $6,600, looking for 33 points out of him. Still a very, very cheap price tag compared to what he's been doing for most of the season at least. I currently have him projected for about 34, 35 points tonight. This should be a pretty competitive game with them and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Cavaliers are actually playing pretty well all of a sudden too, so this is definitely going to be a game to watch, and I think Evan Mobley could be a decent low value once again tonight. Then last but not least, at the center position, going with Jakob Poeltl once again. This dude's price tag just never moves. $6,000, looking for 30 points out of him, averaging 31 on the season. Got him projected for about 31 points tonight. Jakob Poeltl, probably one of the safer plays that you can play on any given slate, just because you know he's always going to be like in that 29 to 35 point range. Sometimes there's a little bit upside for more. Every once in a while, there'll be a few games that he disappoints, but it's few and far between, at least this season. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the DraftKings side, you'll have $24,600 remaining, $8,200 per player. So there's definitely studs that you can afford to pay up for on this slate, whether it's a Nikola Jokic or Giannis if he ends up playing, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, yada, yada, yada. But you could also take a little bit more balanced approach if that's something you want to do. I know I didn't mention Miles Bridges' name in here, but he had a very good night last night. If he plays that same type of role tonight, the price tag that he has is going to be very favorable as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So we're going to start off at the point guard position. It's Ish Smith once again. No surprises here. $4,500. Looking for about 23 points down. Got projected for about 28 points tonight. Not much else you can say here. pretty much the only point guard they have left on their roster. Going to have a ton of ball handling duty, going to play a lot of minutes, and as long as this game stays competitive, he's going to pay off for this price tag. Then at shooting guard, we're going to Karis LeVert, $5,100, looking for about 25, 26 points out, averaging almost 25 on the season. Obviously, we saw him have that nice game the last time out. Seems like things are finally starting to get a little bit right for Karis LeVert. If he's able to continue that in this matchup overall, definitely could be a guy that you want in your lineup as well. Currently, I have him projected for about 27, 28 points tonight. Then small forward, we're going right back to Kelly Oubre once again, $5,800, looking for 29 points at him. Currently, I have him projected for 31 points on the FanDuel side. Going to be out there playing big minutes, has a ton of upside once again tonight. Then at the power forward position, we're going with Isaiah Stewart. And yes, I'll do my little rant real quick. He should be a center, or at least power forward and center eligible on FanDuel. But FanDuel still has yet to change that. But the last 2 times out, he's been playing bigger minutes, over 30 in both those games. If he continues that once again tonight, he's definitely going to be a great value play. But overall, I'm projecting him for about 28 minutes, 28 points. About a fantasy point per minute. Pretty good matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder as well. So definitely a guy that you're going to want in your lineup overall. Then last but not least, we're going to P.J. Washington once again at $6,000. Yes, I mentioned this could be a tough matchup for him against Joel Embiid since he's kind of that undersized center. Joel Embiid's more of your traditional center in terms of size at least. P.J. Washington, if he's out there, if he's playing the big minutes once again, $6,000, you're looking for 30 points out of him. Got him projected for about 30, 31 points tonight once again. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you'll have $33,300 remaining, just over $8,300 per player. So you could probably pay up for 2 stud players if that's something you really want to do. Find some value plays that go alongside with them, or you could go with a little bit more balanced approach. Definitely going to be a lot of options out there tonight, and a lot of that could change when we get some injury news as well. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, December 6th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. As I mentioned already, I'll be listing all the injury updates and starting lineups down in the comments as well. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. Definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. And like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.